welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cleaning video. In this week's video, I will be doing a deep clean and a little bit of decluttering to give you some motivation for the middle of the winter time. And in fact, when I started filming this video, it was pretty dreary and rainy and just cold outside. So I just wanted to take the time during this weekend to really clean out my space so that I could prep for the week ahead. I want to show you real quick my current favorite coffee combination. This is dairy-free half and half and the dairy-free almond milk peppermint mocha from the brand that I will put on screen. So I've just been mixing a healthy dose of those two milks together and then whipping it up with the little foaming wand. I still don't really know how to use the wand on my espresso right now, but I will learn eventually. I'll get to it. And then I just pour a shot of espresso over that, and it's a really yummy winter drink that I've been enjoying. So that's going to be my little winter morning pick-me-up. And now I'm just putting away the dishes that were out the night before. And I also try to clean that little milk frother as soon as I'm done with it, just to make sure no like milk residue sticks to it or anything. You just want to make sure you rinse it off as soon as you're done with it, really. And then to accompany this task, I cleaned up some dishes that were left in the sink from the night before. I'm taking extra care with this wine glass because we currently only have 2 wine glasses. Somehow they're always breaking. Now I'm just sitting down with my coffee, pulling out my iPad, and I am going to plan out my day here. So I wrote a short little list of everything that I wanted to get done, and this is something that I do pretty frequently when I am planning out my cleaning process. I'll actually write down what needs to be done throughout the week usually, and then I'll kind of combine it all together. Now, I'm not going to show you what was on that list because I didn't get everything done on the list, but that's okay. Anyways, one of the things on there was to declutter my closet so that I could start adding in more of my heavier winter clothes. I keep everything in vacuum sealed bags wherever I can keep them in my tiny little apartment. Sometimes that's in suitcases, and sometimes that just means they're a vacuum sealed bag being placed under the bed. But right now I'm just going through what I have hanging up and seeing if I want to take anything and put it away for summer, or maybe just donate and get rid of some things. So I did end up taking a couple things off the hangers. I'm trying to get better at this, but yeah, I'm no minimalist yet, but I'm working on what I bring into my closets and working on getting rid of things that just no longer serve me. Like I mentioned, everything stays in vacuum sealed bags when I'm not using them. So I'm taking all the things that were designated as winter clothes out. I actually have 1 bag of sweaters and 1 bag of heavy socks. I know, kind of weird to have a bag of heavy socks, but those 2 bags I decided not to take the clothes out. I'm gonna wait until it's just a little colder. Being in December, I feel like that's not peak coldness, if that makes sense. I feel like in January, February, and March is when it gets really cold. So I'm just gonna hold off on putting those into my closet now, and I'll just keep them stored in the bags. And hopefully by that time I can get rid of a couple more things in my closet because I definitely don't wear everything there. So right now I'm just putting away a few of the items that I pulled from those bags. Here I'm putting away some sweatpants, and oh my gosh, I do not need any more sweatpants. I kind of struggled to close that drawer there. No more sweatpants for me. I'm not allowed to buy anymore. So now I am taking out some of these items that I had in this suitcase here. These are all technically spring summer items for me, and they were not in a vacuum sealed bag at that time because all of the winter things were in the vacuum sealed bag. So now I'm just going to take them out and put them into a vacuum sealed bag so that more things will fit in that suitcase and we'll have more space overall. I really love my spring and summer clothes. I feel like, well, summer is my favorite season, so I just love picking out clothes for that season. And every time I see these clothes, I'm like, ooh, I really like these clothes. So I'm really happy with my summer wardrobe right now. I think the winter wardrobe needs a little more help. And to kind of go back to just having too much stuff and needing to declutter at the beginning of this, I am trying to go on a no-buy for 3 months, at least for the months of December, January, and February in terms of clothes and shoes. I have more than enough of those things, so I just want to hold off on buying them for now, and just if I want anything, try to write it down and try to really avoid impulse purchases. So now for those spring and summer clothes, like I said, putting them away, and just this vacuum is working its magic on the vacuum sealed bags. You can see some of them get super small. Some of them don't fold up as much, but some of them get very, very tiny. Just very fun to see how small they can get. So there we go. That is the result. And then what I'm doing here is just kind of writing down my thoughts and feelings from this decluttering process. Maybe something like this would help you too if you are struggling with decluttering and just sorting through your clothes. I'm just basically writing about how overwhelmed I am and how I just really don't want to bring anything else into my closet right now because there's a lot to deal with to me personally and in the amount of space I have especially. So try it out next time if you're decluttering, and even if you only get rid of 1 or 2 items, try writing down how you felt about it just so you can look back and remember kind of where you are in the process, and you can reflect on how far you have to come or have come if you're reflecting back. So after that, I believe it's been a few hours at this point. It's getting a little later in the day, and I'm just tidying up the kitchen and preparing to also declutter the kitchen. We have some things in here to go through. So the main thing that I've been meaning to go through is the spice cabinet here. This is where all of these spices and like canned goods are kept. So I think the last time that I did this was a couple months ago, and I know some of these spices were like expiring, and I know some of the cans were probably coming close on expiration, or I just didn't really know what we had in there at this point. So I really wanted to give it a deep clean and take every single thing out that was in there. So here I am just taking everything out from the very top. This is kind of where we keep like backups of like salt and pepper, some like soup supplies. I really love the no chicken bouillon broth. It is so good if you're vegetarian, or even if you're not, it tastes just like chicken noodle soup if you make it like that. So highly recommend. So I cleaned the little stand that these spices sit on in the sink. Right now I'm just looking at each individual bottle and seeing what has expired at this point. And it ended up only being a couple spices and then a couple of canned items, but still more than I would like to have to dispose of. So I really want to get better at just knowing what inventory I have and just keeping that in check, and just knowing if I'm buying something like a can of beans or something, that I have a recipe to go along with it so that I'm actually using it before it's reaching its expiration date. I think overall this process just kind of taught me to be a little more mindful about what I'm bringing in, and then as well as the backups that I have. I had to packages of that vegetable broth, and one was like more than 6 months expired. So I should have known that I had to before bringing the second one in. I just need to know and be more aware of what I have. The spray had dried down. It had been a little while after I cleaned out the inside of the cabinets. So I'm putting everything back into its place. And even though it will look a little full when I show you the inside, everything has now been pushed to the front, so there's nothing really hiding in the back, which I think is a major improvement for this space. So now I can actually see everything that I have. Other than that cabinet, I also have been meaning to go through like the forks and knives and utensils drawer, and then here is the junk drawer. I mean, some people may think this is a lot of junk in here, but I actually think it's relatively organized. Like, I try not to throw like a bunch of random stuff in there. Like, I have a general idea of what's in there. It's like tapes and Ziploc bags and then reusable bags, so I know what's in there, but I really wanted to like organize it so that it looks a little better. And also obviously the forks and knives, and then things like measuring cups and tablespoons, teaspoons. I'm taking everything out of that container that I have for them. That's from Amazon, the little blue container. I really wanted a dark gray one, but when I ordered it, Amazon sent that blue one, and it was like $12, and I just did not want to go through the hassle of sending it back. So I've just held on to the blue one, even though I don't really like the color. It does stay hidden in the drawer though, so I can't be too upset about it. Obviously, I wasn't bothered enough to actually send it back. And because there was like some crumbs and, you know, just some general mess in these drawers, I took the Dyson attachment first just to pick all of those up. And then I'm going in with my Method, the pink Method spray, the classic all-purpose cleaner in this apartment, and just giving those a good deep clean with the rag. So at this point, the spice holder had dried after sitting out, and I put everything away. Like I mentioned, it does look full in there, but everything has been brought to the front. So now I can actually see everything, which is a major improvement to me. And now I'm putting everything back away in the junk drawer, and I'm holding off on putting other things away for now because their holders are drying. This is everything that I'm getting rid of. I'm not super proud about that. It kind of is a lot. It's more than I would have liked, but it's just something to note to myself. At this point, everything had dried completely, so I'm putting all of the silverware back in that top drawer. And I did go through everything that I'm putting into that little compartment there, and we do use it all at one point or another. They've all been used like multiple times in the past year, even if I'm not using it every day. So I decided to keep most of the things that were in there. And here's the junk drawer. I put all of the tape that we have in the apartment in there, so now we know exactly where they are. And I then started up a load of laundry, and Miss Kiki is watching. About an hour later, that laundry was ready to be flipped, so here I am just loading it into the dryer. And I've been using these Bounce dryer sheets for years. I just really like the scent on them. I use a unscented laundry detergent, so I just feel like this complements everything well. So now it is actually the next day. That was everything that I got done for the first day. Again, it was not nearly everything that I had on the list. Something that I've been meaning to make is focaccia bread. I had a friend that made this and it was so good. She sent me this recipe. I've been meaning to make it for months, but I did capture a little bit of sound for this, so I'm just going to be quiet and let you enjoy the sound of me attempting to make focaccia. Alright, can't just make focaccia without having to clean it up afterwards. So here I am just cleaning all of the utensils and the bowls and just some leftover dishes in the sink after mixing it all up. So with the focaccia recipe that I was using, you can let it sit in the fridge for like 8 hours to a day, or if you want it more quickly, you can let it sit for 3 to 4 hours outside of the fridge, obviously, so it can rise. So that's the route that I'm going. So I'm going to check back in on it in a couple hours. But obviously, like I said, we do have to get all of those dishes that we use nice and clean. And to kind of get the dough up, I am using the Dawn Power Wash Spray. I just feel like it kind of gets the crevices of this bowl and like where the dough was sticking just much better than just plain liquid detergent would. I just think the applicator really helps break things down. And then of course just cleaning up the workstation or the counter where I had everything with my granite cleaner. Okay, here's another chore that I've been meaning to do for a while. The case on my iPhone was starting to look a little crusty. Anybody who gets a clear iPhone case knows that after 6+ months, they start to look a little yellowed. So I bought this plain black case and I had been meaning to change it out, and it's a chore. I'm cleaning my iPhone. I'm taking off the protective screen cover and then giving that a good wipe with the alcohol pad that comes with those screen cover kits. And there it is. There's the new screen cover to put on my phone. Just using those like dust stickers. I always wing this. I feel like I've read the instructions for one of these things like one time in my life, and I'm like, no, I got it. I can do this. Every time I always have to like adjust and pick the screen back up or like use a credit card to smooth it out. So this time was nowhere near perfect. Maybe I should honestly read those instructions again. I ended up having to pull it off my phone a couple times. I'll spare you the time of watching me do that though. Now the phone is looking nice and neat. It feels so much better with the new case. So this is a different day, but it doesn't mean that we didn't do laundry today. So another load was in the wash, and I am placing them on the brand new laundry rack. That's right, We have a laundry rack now, and the laundry does not need to hang off the door. And this is typically something that I do once a week. I will give the bedroom a good dusting. So again, I just use the Pink Method spray. I also give my work laptop a good little wipe down, especially on like the keyboard and the mouse pad, with a very light misting of that spray on a rag or a microfiber cloth to get like the fingerprints off the screen. And then I'm just wiping everything else on my desk off. The type of desk I was between this one, a black desk and a white desk, and ultimately went with the black one. I saw a lot of complaints about the white desk having like a bunch of fingerprints. It was like a laminated material, so I think I'm pretty happy with the black one, even though after a week you can definitely like see the buildup on it, but I feel like it was a much better choice compared to the white one. And then just wiping off the dresser and giving both mirrors a nice wipe with Windex. And then just to complete the bedroom, I'm giving it a quick pass with my Dyson cordless vacuum. Thankfully, this only takes a few minutes, and if you have your headphones in and you're watching a good video or podcast, then it really doesn't feel like it takes long at all. Honestly, the worst offender in this room is all of the dog hair that accumulates on the floor. And then you can see Dyson picked up a good amount of dust. I think some of this might have been from the laundry room lint. I want to believe that's not all from my bedroom solely. But after all that, I'm just putting everything away. For some reason, when you put everything away, I feel like it just looks more organized. It makes it look like so much more spacious. Even though you didn't get rid of anything, you're just placing the items exactly where you want to be, exactly how you want them to be spaced out. We have a very special segment coming up. I bought some things from Scrub Daddy, so I'm going to let myself talk about exactly what I got. Everything came in this really cute box. Okay, so the very first thing in here is the Scrub Daddy Screen Daddy. It's a little cloth to clean off your phone. They're just little microfiber cloths. I think I just got this because I saw them and they looked interesting. Next here we have the Sponge Daddy. This is a dual-sided sponge and scrubber. Figured I'll just use these for like regular dishes. We have the dye-free Sponge Daddy. These are like really, I want to say like coarse sponges, but then they have like the soft part. These are the same thing. Yeah, but the dye-free Sponge Daddy and the Sponge Daddy, they'll do the same thing. They have like a soft side and then like a harder, more scrubby side. These are the dye-free Scour Daddies, and we have these with the color on them. They're pretty strong, like the strength is really strong in that it like really scratches up whatever you're cleaning, but it works really well on like pots and pans. The only complaint that I have about these is that they don't hold soap that well, so you're constantly like adding soap back to the sponge because it like runs out really quickly. And the last thing here is actually why I made an order from Scrub Daddy. This is the damp duster. I kept seeing videos of this and I really want to try it like on the windowsills and like the baseboards. So this is truly why I made this purchase. Everything here was on sale for Black Friday. I think it was maybe 20% off. So the total order with shipping and everything was $24. This will probably be one of the only times I order from Scrub Daddy. I can't imagine I'll need to replenish soon, but if you're interested in hauls like these, let me know. We gotta fold some laundry. Kiki's here. She's ready to help, I guess. No, she's here to take the socks and cause chaos. If you just let her do her own thing while you're folding, she'll just kind of play with the socks herself. It only becomes a problem when it's time to fold the socks. I honestly feel like I'm in a love-hate relationship with laundry. Sometimes I don't mind doing it at all and I actually kind of look forward to it, but recently I feel like it's just been such a pain to actually get up and do the folding and put the clothes away. Let me know if you've ever felt like that too, if you're somebody who kind of like goes between loving and hating laundry. And here I am putting away the shirt that I was wearing yesterday. That's how quickly we cycle through things here. And Kiki has brought her blanket on top of the socks to, I don't know, also chew it along with them. I think she just really likes the feeling of like fabric. So maybe that's why she likes chewing the blankets and the socks. I'm not really sure, but here we are in our struggle to take the socks away and actually put them away. It is actually later that evening and the focaccia was baking along with our dinner, and that is the final result there. It was not as good as I had hoped, but I'm gonna be honest, I did not follow the directions exactly. So next time I make it, I'll be sure to actually read and listen to the instructions. You know, maybe that should have been my first step, but it was still pretty good. That will just about wrap it up for this week's cleaning video. I hope it gave you some motivation and inspiration to get some cleaning done around your house during these kind of cold winter season, and maybe also getting some decluttering done, maybe just quickly looking at and evaluating the spices and jars that you have and just seeing if you can kind of clear anything out and just make space so that you can know what you have and evaluate what you don't need in the future. So I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel for new cleaning videos weekly, and I will see you in the next one.